We don't just draw flowers because they're pretty. Today's video is about the power of doodles and lists to keep your mind happy. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. My name is Shayda Campbell. I am an artist, tea drinker, thrift shopper extraordinaire, and very recently, YouTuber with 1 million subscribers. So thank you guys. We'll talk more about that later. Today's video is all about doodling for your mental health because guess what? I'm over here and I'm still sick. We have just been sick in this house for like the past 10 weeks. I already made a video about being sick. You're like, this girl is a bummer. She just makes videos about her colds. Anyways, Sully got sick after Christmas. If you're up all night with a sick baby and he's putting his boogers in your face, there's just no way that you don't get sick. Anyway, I thought it would be just important to just kind of make a video about what is actually going on in my life. And what is going on is that I find being sick, even it's just colds, I know it's not that serious, but it really wears on my mental health and well-being. For better or worse, I am someone who really takes a lot of pride in my productivity and I feel good when I'm productive and I'm doing and I'm getting stuff done. And so I just find it really tough to be sick and be resting on the couch and not getting anything done and not having the energy to put into work and hobbies and all that good stuff. But one thing that I do find that is super helpful during those times when I do have to just rest is that keeping a bullet journal and writing things down, that means the world to me. There's just something about, yeah, I can't do this, this, and this, but at least I can get it out of my head and I can write it down in a journal. And then I can make it pretty. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to make some really pretty but simple floral spreads that you can just get lost in. You can forget your troubles. You can take a moment of like peace and silence and just doodle. And then you can make your list, get that cacophony of productivity out of your head onto the paper and feel better, hopefully. I'll talk more about, mental health as we get into the video. This is already kind of a rambling intro. My voice sounds terrible. So let's just get started. We're going to do 3 floral doodle projects specifically in a bullet journal that are hopefully going to be really good for your mental health and mine. Cut. I think we're good. Before we begin, I just wanted to let you know that patrons of the channel will be able to download and print my Dutch door coloring page. Yes, you can doodle along with me and you don't even have to do the drawing yourself. Get tons of extra bonus content over on my Patreon. It's a great way to support this channel and it's only $2 a month or $22 for the year. Get a month free when you sign up now. So I'm going to get my butt off the couch, sit down in the studio. I've got my journal here. This is my 2023 bullet journal, which has a folklore theme. And if you haven't watched this setup video yet, what are you waiting for? We had so much fun putting this together and drawing and doodling all these cute little animals. There's still lots of florals. The January setup is a separate video and that's out as well. But let's keep on keeping on here. This is not specifically a bullet journaling video. This video is about cleaning out my mind. And to do a lists page, because that's how I clean my brain out, I like to create a Dutch door. And all you have to do is fold the paper in half. No cuts. It's very low stakes. You're going to cut that paper in half. Then you need a pencil and a fine liner and an eraser. That's all there is to this little project here. But the Dutch door creates almost like a bookmark. So if this is a list that you need to get to, something for me would be like video ideas for the year ahead, something that I'm going to refer to all the time. This no-cut Dutch door is perfect for that. All you have to do to begin your easy doodle is draw a bunch of circles and ovals. Do some large, some small. Then, I can't talk, but then you're going to place a circle in the center of each and do these like 5 little lines. The oval-shaped ones, though, you place that circle really low or really high, and you will see why that works as we begin to put the petals in. For these ones at the bottom, they are ovals. I'm placing the stamen or the center really high. And then as we begin to put petals in, you'll see these circle flowers, the ones that are kind of blooming straight dead on towards the viewer, they have petals that are all equal in size. The oval-shaped flowers that have the center placed really low in the oval, they have a front or bottom petal that's really, really skinny and little, and that gives the look of a very concave flower, or one that is angled away from the viewer. And then the ones at the bottom there, the skinny or thin petal is at the top, the long petal's at the bottom. It looks like they're blooming down towards the bottom of the page. Once your flowers are all kind of filled out, you can frame them with lots of little leaves. Don't overthink it, just do some simple leaf shapes, and then we're going to go over everything with that fine liner. If you want to be just like me, I'm using the Mulatto Black Liner, the 0.7 millimeter nibs, kind of a thicker, weightier line, which I love. And all of these supplies that I'm using in today's video, you can buy them by using the links in the video description. I have an Amazon storefront. It's a good way for you to support the channel, but also find exactly what you see me using in these videos. Yeah, so I'm wearing my favorite pink sweater today. This is like my I'm sick pink schlub sweater, and I've had it for years, and I'm always wearing it when I'm painting and doing DIY projects, so it has all these paint stains on it, and paint is kind of like a cool stain to have on your clothes. But now I also wear it for momming. That's what I do now, momming. And you know what's not a cool stain? Poop. That's not a cool stain. Anyways, once you have finished your contour drawing, grab an eraser, get rid of all those pencil lines, then you can really see what you're working with. You may decide, I need another leaf or two over here. I decided to put some onto the adjoining page. I just thought that kind of looked nice. And just keep in mind, this might look a little intricate, but it really just starts with a bunch of circles and ovals, and it's all about just drawing and kind of getting lost in the process of doodling. So don't overthink it, and don't be hard on yourself if it doesn't look perfect. The next step is one that is really enjoyable to get lost in, and that is to take a brush pen or some sort of marker. I'm using the Faber-Castell black Pitt pen, but like a koi brush pen or Tombow would be fine as well. And we're just going to color everything in nice dark black. So anything that is not leaf or flower, you just color. And this feels like a good time for me to tell you a little bit about the day that we hit 1 million subscribers. And guess what day it was? Christmas Day. We had just opened our stockings. Sally was going nuts over some new toys. We were having a cup of tea, and Chris checked, and we were at 1,000,001 subscribers. So it was like this fun Christmas morning thing. It was just the best. And I just wanted to say thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being here. It doesn't seem like that long ago that I took the leap of faith to do a video every week and really dedicate myself. And within a few months, I had 10,000 subscribers. That was the spring of 2016, so it's been almost 7 years. So thanks for hanging out. It's been a while. It's been a minute. And speaking of coloring page, grab a cup of tea, light the little candle, or do whatever you do that makes you feel good. I don't know, when I'm anxious or worried, I always light a candle and like to tidy up the room that I'm sitting in, light a candle, make a cup of tea, and that just centers me, makes me feel instantly at least a little better, a little more like myself. Where was I? I think I was saying that at this point you have a coloring page, and that's exactly what this is. So you get to color in the black, and then at this point you get to sort of draw or color in all the lines. So you're going to do all these thin little lines, and they don't have to be any sort of direction. They don't have to go any sort of way. You're just adding lines to all of the flowers and petals. And it's a very meditative kind of chill thing to do. And it does make the piece really pop and look quite beautiful. You might add some thin little shading lines near the stamen, near the center of each flower. That's what I'm doing here. This is maybe like getting outside of just relaxing. This is more of a, oh, I want to make them look really pretty type of thing, but that's cool. And then you might also grab that thicker fine liner, add a little bit more dotting or scribbling at the center of each flower. That gives them that contrast.
And then finally, we will take a white gel pen. I don't think I included that in the supplies, but all of the supplies that I use are linked in the video description. So always check there for a comprehensive supply list, because I'm using a white gel pen to just join together all of the leaves and flowers. Any little stems that got lost in that big wash of black, now I sort of get them back using the white gel pen, and our black and white design continues, and it really pops and comes together at this point. What I really love about these journal spreads is that they can make you feel productive even when you're not up to doing much else. And a journal spread is like way lower stakes than a big painting or something like that. So there's the Dutch door complete. The process of creating it was super mindful and chill, and now I can keep all my lists there. And let's just keep on rolling. I'm going to begin another journal spread. This is a classic Shayda spread. We'll mark out a square or rectangle or any shape really in pencil, and then using a fine liner, we're going to fill it in with mini floral and leaf doodles. So here's a few that I'll be using. Just a simple 4-petal flower, 4 or 5 petals, and you can add some dark black leaves, either in 2 or 3 directions or whatever you really need to fill the space. A simple oval shaped leaf where we're just doing, pairs of leaves on a stem. This is a favorite. Draw 2 semicircles in pencil, then fill in with 3 or 4 petals, and then you just join them with 2 curving lines and again some dark leaves. Let's see, maybe like a little rosebud. We begin with a cluster of dots, then a few curving lines, and then that bumpy sort of circle to create the shape of the rose. A little pair of pointed oval shaped leaves, and you've got a cute little rose. What am I saying? How about a daisy? Just a simple circle with these long, thin petals, and then you can add a stem and shaggy leaves if you like. From there, I just make stuff up, and that is what is so good about this one, is you can just do like a curving line with a bunch of pairs of leaves going down, and then you can add another line, and that's another branch, and yet another branch. Make it as large or as small as you like. Make weird flowers that don't look real. Make silly, ugly flowers. Like, draw badly and just get lost in the process. And I think you'll be surprised at what you come up with. So make a bit of a mess, because after all, this really isn't about the product or the outcome. This is about losing yourself in the process of doodling. I find when I'm making art, typically my mind is not racing. I'm not thinking about much else. I'm just focused on what I'm doing. I'm thinking about the forms. I'm thinking about what I'm going to draw next. Or what if I try this petal shape? Or what if I did like a large leaf or some shaggy petals? What would that look like? And then, as I said, you might be surprised what you come up with when you experiment and play. Don't worry about doing a good job. That's when I often come up with my best work, is when I take off that pressure and I realize, that I kind of came up with something kind of cool there. I'm going to fill in the entirety of this square with these tiny little doodles, and my only real rule for myself is that I don't really let them touch if I can help it. So each little floral kind of exists on its own, and it creates this nice design that every part is very perfectly imperfect, but together as a whole, it looks quite striking, and it creates a really pretty page in your journal. And I am going to use this spread in my journal to write all my great ideas for videos. And if you have any video ideas, be sure to comment below so that I have stuff to put on this list. Just kidding. Okay, the last thing I want to share is a simple little thing that I like to do in my weekly spreads. I start with like a nice weighty rectangle, so I use the 0.9 millimeter nib. Then I switch to a smaller nib fine liner, something like a 0.5 or somewhere in there. And we just do these really sweet little kind of floral vine that curls around this rigid rectangle. You can do some thin kind of pointed oval shaped leaves, these cute little 4-petal flowers, and maybe even some tiny berries. So you do this curving line that kind of goes around the rectangle, and just add as many little blooming flowers and leaves as you like. I put a couple tiny little berries in there as well. And you just sort of make it look like this vine is growing around this line that you drew, this rectangle. It's simple, and it's a nice way to add I guess a little section to any weekly layout if you need a spot for notes or goals or to-do lists, or just where you want to put a calendar or a weekly tracker. This is like a sweet way to do it. It does not take long. This is like one of those 10-15 minute little doodle projects, and it is a good bang for your buck, as I always say. Quick and simple, and it looks so pretty, and it's kind of just the perfect little pick-me-up if you just have 15 minutes to dedicate to sitting down and doing something good for yourself, doing something creative and mindful. This is the perfect one. It doesn't take nearly as long as the other two projects. It creates space and division within your journal, within your weekly spread, or wherever you need it. And it's super cute. Super sweet and super fun to draw. And just before this video is done, this went by super quickly, I feel, I wanted to remind you that you can grab the first layout that we did together, the Dutch door. That's available on Patreon. I made it like a coloring page so you can color it in however you like, with black or color or lines or whatnot, and just have the mindful, fun, chill part. If you're interested in becoming a patron, it's only $2 a month or $22 for the entire year. Get a month free when you sign up. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Just a quick recap. We did 3 really pretty, simple, doodle-based floral spreads. It's funny how mental health struggles can seem like the most insurmountable, scariest struggles in the world. But for me, some of the things that have helped me through tough times are the simplest things, like cooking and drawing and lighting a candle and having a cup of tea. Thank you for being here. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you soon with a new tutorial.